What's happening?
How are we doing?
Can you hear me, Jared?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah. Let me. I'm gonna turn your mic volume up a little bit.
I'm kind of sitting away from the mic too, so I can get
Okay.
closer.
Let me know once you're.
Yep. Should be live. Live. Check. Check 1 2. Check.
Can you
1.
guys hear his mic pretty well? What's up, Raptic, Barry, John? How is Jared's volume?
Check. Check 2. Check. Here we go. Check 2.
I'm longing off this duo stream. Always pumps. It's true.
Kind of does.
It kind of does.
How come it doesn't? Oh, there you are. It wasn't giving me the live stream on.
Oh, I can share my screen with you on Discord too if you don't want the. He's a little louder than me. Okay. I think that's because I turned it up when he was sitting a little further away. Alright, it should be better now. Click to read my unread notification.
Mic check. Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
That should be solid.
There we go. You are now louder to me even. So.
Oh, really?
Should've, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Alright, I think they're saying it works. I can try and play some really quiet music in the background, but I don't want it to drown out either of us. So, what's up, Jamie, Mike, 69 Dejan Gambler in the house. That's
Always
a name.
good.
Alright.
Like.
Jared about to freestyle. Yeah, I'm dropping the beat for him. A little lower. Oh, yeah.
Music's super loud. Wow. What's your levels are?
Is it better now?
I screw this stuff up all the time. So it's like every time I stream.
For some reason, this is saying I'm dropping some frames. Like
Which
my.
VPN?
Like the stream is laggy, but I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't cause us too much of an issue.
I have my VPN on, but I don't think that should matter. It should be yours, right?
No, it shouldn't matter. And I think my internet's fine right now.
Well, I guess we'll find out, you know?
Yeah, if it starts being bad, I can always try and fix it, but no one's saying it's lagging right now, so we will jump right into it real quick. Shout out to Bybit, the sponsor of these streams. They're the reason I can bring you guys 2 of these on a weekly basis. And shout out to Jared for hopping on. When Discord invite, we'll get one in there soon. Shout out to Jared.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude, thanks for being here, as always. How you feeling?
Very nice. Yeah. I mean, well, look. All price action over the past few days has been so weird. Like the Martin Luther King Day price action, futures were open, but nothing else was. So futures traded like 10 total handles. Like it traded nothing. And it went down. And then today we got like the worst gap possible on the NQ. Like literally the worst gap you could get on the NASDAQ. And then it just proceeded to go down. Yeah, 100 doesn't really matter. So like it gapped under like the previous. There you go, perfect. The previous close. So like the entire up day on Friday was not only retraced, but it gapped and sold down. And I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be pretty bad. And it did. Like it kind of tried to pull up today and ended up selling off the entirety of the day. But you know what happened?
Huh.
Crypto held on, man.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, usually on days when the S&P has been down 1.8%, whatever, what was the NASDAQ down today? 2.5%.
Yeah, 2.5%.
Usually on those days, we are down like 6, 7, 8, 9%.
Exactly right. We get rinsed.
Yeah. So that's a positive, and it looks like, at least the last few hours, stuff in crypto is starting to catch a little bit of a bid.
I agree.
A small one, but we're on the right track. Island Boy asks if staking Juno auto compounds. No, you claim it and then restake it if you're staking it on a validator node.
Yep.
There might be other places to stake. I mean, I don't know. Jared, do you know if there's any others? If you're using Omniplex, or is that what it's called? Omni something?
Yeah. So that's just like the interface, right?
Yeah, if you're using...
Yeah.
You probably do need to restake it, is the bottom
sorry.
line. You're good. Like, if you go to juno.omniflix.co and you can see what you're staking, it should say rewards. There should be a claim button, and you should be able to see, like, how many rewards you have. You'll claim those, and then stake them. So...
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Make sure to vote on the next proposal for the Juno swap DEX. Might be good for airdrop.
Let me hop on something right there. So there was a couple voting propositions a while back on Juno. Like, I've been in this thing essentially since launch in October, and I never voted on any of them. Okay, I never I thought I did. Apparently, it didn't go through, and ended up being an extraordinarily costly mistake. Let me tell you why. Because Neta is going to be like the hard money of Juno. Osmo has something similar right now, okay? And if you ever look on like info.osmosis.zone, you can look and go, okay, Osmo's like 970, like that's pretty cool. And then if you look down at Ion is $15,000. They got as high as $22,000, okay? That's the hard money iteration of Osmo. And Neta is the same thing for Juno. Okay. Since I didn't vote, I will be getting an airdrop for this. It will be 1.2 Neta. Pretty good. Had I just voted on anything and any of the time that I've been staking, I would have gotten 10.2 instead of 1.2.
And Neta's trading at what?
So Neta is not released yet. It's going to in February 1st. But so like Ion released at like $1,000, and it kind of hung around there until Osmo really took off, and it went essentially from $1,000 to $22,000.
Jeez.
Which is pretty nuts. So I say all of that not to say that Neta is going to go to 20 grand, but just as like a little piece of a little tip for everybody. If you're staking, just go vote on everything everywhere. It's only going to help.
Yeah, it's free, so.
Yeah, exactly. And just so you know, guys, this is a live breaking news. Okay, you ready for this? I just did an at-home test, and I'm positive for Corona.
Oh, no.
I literally just got it. So, breaking news. Hopefully.
Oh, man. Did your, is your nanny healthy? Again?
Yes, my nanny's back.
Is she not coming over because you have COVID now?
I literally just found out 9 seconds ago.
Oh.
Literally, it was sitting in front of me. I was waiting for the
live
script to turn.
It just turned. Let's go.
It was a live test. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I am sorry to hear that.
Tremendous.
Hopefully you don't feel too bad.
Yeah.
It does kind of seem like it's making the rounds again.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really feel that bad. But
Also, I don't know if it's the same for everyone else, but your voice periodically gets like a lot quieter and then like back to the normal volume, and then like for a couple words it'll get super quiet. I don't know if that's Discord or if it's your mic or what's going on, but
it's probably my mic and I'm moving around. Sorry guys. I'll try to be better.
Okay, yeah. It's not just me. Everyone agrees you are the absolute worst. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so overall, let's probably start talking about the market a little bit. Also, I mean, I assume I got into that. I was too late for that whatever thing, Neta. I'm too late for that.
Yeah, okay. Probably just a little bit.
That was before my time. Okay, so with Bitcoin, like, I haven't been on crypto Twitter much today, but I assume it seems like there is just mass panic everywhere. Like from the little bit that I've seen, it seems like everyone is just super bearish, and everyone thinks we're about to roll over. I haven't checked funding. Do you know how funding's looking right now? Let's see. But basically, it seems like we're kind of at one of those times again. Funding's pretty flat, where the market looks terrible. It looks like we're about to roll over, and a lot of times that it's been like that before, that's kind of when we see a bounce. What's up, John Lee? Big fan of your art. Thanks for dropping in the chat. You're a beast. John Lee's got some great stuff. Ceylon, what's good? John MF and Lee. No problem, bro. But yeah, so the market, like it looks like it's kind of hanging on by a thread, but that's the same vibes we had back here. That's the same vibes we had here, and that's the same vibes we had here. Yep. And obviously this was a short rally. These were two massive ones. And I'm not necessarily saying this needs to rip up to 60 from here, but I will say that sentiment does seem to match these three other areas here. I still think it would make sense to take a stab into this daily supply before further downside, whether that's coming soon or not. And that doesn't mean we have to get rejected right there. Like, as of right now, I am looking for a move up, but what happens after that, like, we can't really figure that out quite yet. I mean, look at this PA. Like, this has just been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have been tortured for like 4 days now with just this slow, steady bleed. And I feel like it's just demoralizing everyone.
Yeah, it's literally as bad as you could get, because, like, you know, I was very vocal about calling the bottom. My bottom signal is still technically in, and this little rally off the bottom makes me feel better about that.
That was when I was on your stream, right? Which I'm pretty sure was like January 10th when you, me, and Dale were chatting.
That's correct. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
So it would have been the next day. Right. It did trigger the next day. So that was it. When the stop was under the low, stop would be essentially 39.6, 39.7, whatever. And so, it looks pretty dire, even though we got that pop. That pop has immediately faded, and I'm going to send you a link to a chart because I think it's worth looking at. If I can get it.
Ceylon says, we all just hanging in here waiting for Kaz to tell us we might not be poor. I hope so. I hope that's what we're about to
pretty
talk
much.
About. Let me pull up this chart.
So I just sent it to you. And it's just like a really, really basic idea. But it's something that when you look at charts, you can see weakness. And what people say, well, what does weakness look like? Well, this is what weakness looks like, okay? It's literally not only were we losing levels, essentially since November, but we never had enough strength to even go up and retest the entirety of the lowest level, like the last support.
Right.
And it was a pretty large gap. Then there was another one, and we just had another one. And so that is not good. Now, you can see the gap is getting smaller, so I guess that's good. But you look at that along with the price action and go, man, that's pretty bad. You know, it's yeah.
Tessie says, weakness equals gets COVID twice. Just kidding, had to say it.
Yeah, I thought I had COVID before, and I didn't. This is my first test.
Oh, this is your first meeting. But no, yeah, I get what you're saying. There definitely has been a lot of weakness, especially with Bitcoin. Like, it's crazy. I feel like now more than ever. Oh no, so zoomed in. The Bitcoin chart looks completely different from like other coins.
Yeah. Like
FTM. Like, what if this is? I know we've said this a lot, like in previous years. But what if this is actually the year where like a few of these altcoins do kind of decouple just based on their bullishness, and it's like Bitcoin slowly bleeds down to like 30K and like a handful of coins like don't die. Like they hold up pretty well because of, like, do you think the crypto market is growing to a point where that could be possible?
So I mentioned it to you, I think, earlier today, and somebody else brought it up. That I don't remember who it was, but essentially, I think Kobe brought it up to say that there's so much institutional money coming in now, where people are trying to launch the new thing and they're backing the new chain, and the Ponzonomics are great or the tokenomics are great because a lot of these things are locked. That they have very good pumpability, and so
Pumponomics, I think is what
yeah, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, Pumponomics. So, like, think about it from a perspective of, like, there's something new coming in. There's 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, $100 million that came in, that their tokens are locked, and they have a good narrative. Like, that is somewhat detached from the crypto market because there's not a bunch of holders that bought that need to capitulate. So you have, like, this really bizarre thing happening where I think there's a greater likelihood of having things run in tandem than there ever has been before.
A greater likelihood that they run in tandem, like everything moves together?
No, I'm sorry, that they don't run in tandem,
Okay.
that they decouple,
Right.
They decouple. Sorry, my wife's like calling me because I just said
No worries. Just wanted
yeah,
make sure we clarify the main point there.
yeah, the main point is, like, I think there's a greater likelihood that they actually can just rip, right? And not be a bunch of people that were like, oh shit, I need to get out of this position to buy Bitcoin or whatever because everything's going to zero. Like, it's just a slightly different way of operating. And I've had this thought for a while, but I almost feel bad for OGs. Like, I legit almost feel bad for OGs because OGs. Oh my god, look at that rip,
bro! Literally, we started the
nuts.
stream 16 minutes ago,
and it's just been up only. I mean, why aren't we called up only? So yeah, literally, like, I feel bad for OGs because they know nothing. Dude, that's freaking awesome. They know nothing. Then Bitcoin does everything, right? Then Bitcoin determines everything. That's tough.
Hey, if we go to 46K from here, this is gonna be one absolute banger of a tweet.
Tell you what, pretty amazing.
We just gotta keep streaming until we hit 46K.
Oh my god, I don't know.
Yeah, John Lee, please stream for 24 hours. Who's speaking with me? It's JM plus EV on Twitter. I'll link it. I feel like I've had you on enough that those questions have to eventually stop coming through. You know what I'm saying?
You know, you just have a varied audience. You know, just new people in, new people out.
John Lee says, mint the tweet if it hits 46. If it hits 46, we'll mint the chart, and you can draw some accents or whatever on the chart, and we'll throw it up on your Holoplex. Auction it off. No problem, Marvin. Eat a lemon.
What's your next lemon bet?
Dude, never again.
Was that so terrible?
It wasn't too bad. But did you know, have I ever showed you where that tweet happened? Like, as far as starting the bull run?
No.
This should actually be minted. Okay. Let me...
This is good Twitter history. Jared, basically the co-host of this stream. Yeah, you know, I only pop in when things are pivotal. Though. That's it. It's the two pivotal dudes. Somebody find the tweet for Kaz so he can copy paste it.
I'm looking for it. I think I need to do from.
My Boolean search skills are pretty lacking. I'm not gonna lie,
Bro, so we were consolidating here in this little range, and I said I said we'd hit 19.7 before 17.9, and look where we freaking bottomed. 17.9, and then we just went parabolic.
That's hysterical, dude.
So that
I didn't realize that was that long ago. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. And that engaged the well, hold on. We'll do it on the. That engaged our pump above all-time highs.
Yeah, dude.
So am I taking credit? Yes. Yeah, I am.
I don't know why you wouldn't. That's 100%, dude. That's a clout collector's item. I mean, that's like all-timer right there.
Yeah. It's a solid one. So also, if this daily candle closes green and gets back above like 42.3, like that could, the daily won't look that bad
at all. And again, like this signal that I gave, I know people are like, all right, Jared, your signal, shut the fuck up. But like, it's not a small one,
pull
man.
this chart up again.
Yeah, I mean, you can look. I don't have the actual signal drawn on it, but
right?
It's the MACD. So essentially, that white bubble.
So this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So that's the where it changes from red to blue, and there's that little white bubble. Yep. You got it. Okay, that's a MACD daily bullish divergence. It's a slow signal, but it's effective. And by the way, it called the top, and it called the bottom in the summer, and it called the top the previous time. So like, it's 3 for 3 so far.
Yeah, like if you look here, this made a higher high, and this made a lower high, and I was too ignorant to pay attention.
Dude, believe me, I did not play that well. I should have.
But yeah, no, it definitely has been a very powerful signal. I've watched it a few times. I don't use a lot of indicators myself, but that is like part of why it's good when Jared and I can collab on some stuff and talk about our views on the market, because sometimes when we kind of both are seeing the same things with different strategies or whatever you want to call it, kind of makes me a little more confident in that whole thing. So that's the
to your point about the daily close. Like, if we get to that as the daily close, like, it would not shock me. In fact, I even said when I first talked about this, that usually after it bounces, it kind of puts in a right shoulder, which is what it's doing. Okay, so like, it popped up, and it's kind of putting in a right shoulder. It doesn't look as clean as I would like it to look.
Right.
But it is that little like pop over, and it's what it's doing. The idea here is like, all right, bulls, if you're really trying to pull this, you got to prove it right now. And what have they done the last 2 days? They've kind of stepped in and defended the area they needed to defend. So from my perspective, literally, it's as clear as this. It is as clear as this.
Yeah. And I remember.
I'm sorry.
No,
I just want to clear everything really quick. Yeah. So if we lose the lows that were set in the day that we called the reversal, so the 39.7, 39.6. If we lose that area, we're going to 29K.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not stopping. Okay. We're going to break down, and it's going to go to 29K.
Which is
and it's going to be
level, because we've tagged 29K like a million times.
We have. Like, you can maybe make a case that it stops at like
32, 33.
Yeah. Like, I find it very hard to believe that BS level is going to hold.
I don't love it. But also, I feel like a lot of people would want us to come just flush all those lows with a wick.
Yep.
And so it'd be kind of funny if we just front run it and then.
Right. But the thing is, if that does happen, and we've talked about this before, if that does happen, let's say it happens violently, which is what everybody wants. Everybody's like, well, let's just rip it, be done. That's not really how it works. Because like, if you look at the first big sell-off, whenever that was like the start of December, where you got like the crazy 2 days down, where we essentially wicked to where we are now. Like, it's taken us. Yeah. So like if you have a candle down like that from essentially, we're talking about December 3rd and 4th. All we've done is fill in that wick over the last month and a half.
I know, it's
okay.
Terrible. Well, the Bitcoin price action has been terrible. There have been other things to do to make money throughout the last month and a half, but
no doubt,
I have never leverage traded less. Like, I think I've taken like 2 or 3 trades in 2022 so far.
Yeah. Yep.
So
if we do have that violent sell down to that 29.30 area, people are like, oh, thank God it's done. No, it's not. We're probably looking at another couple of months, maybe even a quarter, maybe even half a year, if we have a violent sell down where we just move sideways and probably range between 30 and 40 until we decide what happens next. I'm like, that's not the worst thing in the world, but like, it's certainly not as fun as it has been.
Or as how like everyone who's calling for it thinks it will be. Like, if this starts to break down, right, and then we get some big move below, like either we chop around here for a while or like slowly bleed back down to the lows, and like we could be consolidating for like the first 2 quarters of the year.
Exactly right. And people are like, oh God, it's going back down to 20. Everybody's calling it. It's going to 20. It's going to lower. It's going lower than that. You know, we're going to liquidate Sailor. Like, that's the stuff you'll hear.
Yeah. John, 6 months of Juno staking sounds good to me. Yeah, me too. I mean, honestly, if we do just chop between there for months, the price action would suck, but I kind of know my limits, and I wouldn't even try and trade that. And I would try to, I mean, just like stake stuff, look for some smaller cap coins that I just want to hold on to for the next big run up, do some NFT stuff, and just like enjoy life and not stare at charts.
Yeah, I mean, I would just try to vacation places where there's like a lot of good weather and I can just golf. You know, like that'd be better.
Yeah. The farming would be sweet, but it is good to see us put in some strength here. I can't believe
I agree.
We did this whole thing thanks to the stream.
I know. We should start taking like bounties if people.
Honestly, I'm gonna start seeing like if people want to pay me to go live because it would save their longs.
At critical points, yeah,
or liquidate their enemies' shorts. Like they could be strategic with it and be like, "Oh, my arch nemesis is shorting right now, so like, cause here's some money to go live so that we can liquidate him." So
yeah, I mean, I'm here for that for sure.
We're oh man, but yeah, I mean, nice bounce coming in. Let's cycle through a few other charts. I mean, everything has just been having this slow bleed. I don't hate how Sol looks. This is one of the trades I'm in. We had this daily demand from a while back that we poked a low into, came back down, swept it, went up, and now we've kind of retested that low, and it looks like we are getting some buying pressure around here, which is good to see. What I would want to see next is us get back above this like dotted level basically, and then I would feel pretty good about this being just a higher low, and then I think that 170 target would still be pretty valid. FTM has been an absolute stud. I really wanted to see it come down to 245, 250. Like that would have been a no-brainer. Just go hard in this right at that level. For a couple reasons. One, FTM has been one of the cleanest coins from a higher time frame perspective, just in terms of like basic SR. Like this all-time high, resistance, break it, retest, go. This next all-time high, break it, retest, go. This one, held for this one. I mean, it came down and later. It's gotten a little more messy since then because we went from like a trending environment where retesting previous all-time high is kind of a good way to get exposure, but now we've kind of been more choppy, but it still has been pretty clean. So I think this high time frame level is still pretty relevant. It held its support nicely here. There was one move above it there, but then it quickly got rejected. Resistance here, broke above, support. Once it broke below, resistance once again. And so that's kind of why I have my eyes on this level right now. We do have daily demand. Yearly opens right around there, plus this SR level. So that would be a pretty sweet entry. I do kind of see a bit of a range here though, and it makes me think we might not get all the way down there. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, sweeping all these lows could have been a solid long opportunity, but I'm not really jumping in. As you guys know, my focus recently has not been trying to catch every leverage move, and so if this does give me the perfect entry, I will ape into it. If not, I'll just be patient. Have I dived into the Phantom ecosystem? Not yet, but I do really want to get into that a bit. Jared, I don't think you haven't done much Phantom stuff either, right?
No, I mean I've pretty much been on everything once, but I made jokes and I will continue to. Like Messi made the joke first.
Your voice kind of cut out for a little bit there.
Sorry, I don't want a Halloween themed bag like spooky and spirit and like phantom. I just it's just super lame to me. Not that that's a bad reason to not make money, but it's just always been kind of like ugh. And Andre, I have like a very love-hate relationship with Andre. Like I really respect what he does. At the same time, I really kind of loathe him at times. It's like Andre loves him some Andre, bro. Like Andre loves him some Andre. He is so like I am the shit. It just kind of rubs me the wrong way. That's why I haven't been on there. So I spent a lot of time doing other things. And then when you find stuff like Cosmos, I'm like, I like what this is about. At the end of the day, FTM is Andre chain. That's what it is. It's Andre chain. There's no two ways about it. So, if you're into that, good for you. I'd rather be in Decentraland and doing other stuff. That's just me.
There you go. And I mean, there's probably really good opportunity on whatever L1 you decide to invest into some coins on.
Exactly.
Just because some people aren't diving deep into Phantom doesn't mean there isn't opportunity there.
Yep.
I would like to explore it a little more. I've just kind of been busy.
Oh, there's a ton of opportunity. So again, don't mince my words. It's just there's a lot of opportunity everywhere.
You're not.
And I just, like I definitely think it's worth it. Definitely.
Right. Yep. Luna has been super clean as well. I think this was either a daily or a weekly level. Daily SR, I mean, just as textbook as it gets. Resistance there, it broke down. It did hold up a little bit as support. Broke down, acted as resistance, put in a higher low, now broke above, retested it as support. I mean, it doesn't get much cleaner than that. And when you zoom in, like you see good interaction here, resistance there, immediate retest. This is the last level we bounced at. Resistance.
Yep.
And now, like, it's just...
It's very clean.
Textbook SR.
Yeah, it's so clean, man. It's you can tell the pivotal level. There's no question.
Right. There's no using discretion for this level.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty cut and dry. So Luna's held up very well, all things considered, and Atom too. Like in previous streams, I've been saying I don't really have a long setup right here for Atom. However, it's holding above gray while everything else is breaking its structure. So like, if I'm holding Atom, I'm more comfortable than if I'm in other coins, but it's not necessarily giving me like clean day trading setups, if that makes sense. Great coin. Glad I have exposure to it and exposure to Juno, but I'm not like dying to get a leverage long because this is just kind of like, it's pretty easy to see. It's just consolidating in this range. And hey, if you're consolidating that close to your all-time highs, like, bullish. You love to see it.
No doubt. Yep.
Juno has you cozy most of the time. Yeah, Juno's been a good boy.
I'll tell you what.
Big fan of Juno. And the staking rewards, as Juno continues to go up, like that daily passive income number is looking nicer and nicer.
Well, so to hammer this point home, and I will say it in why I've said on my stream quite frequently that I don't care what happens over the next year. I'm not selling Juno, okay? And the reason for that is 40% of supply is given out for staking year one. When that's done, if you add that 40% of supply plus the original stake drop, that means half of the total supply of Juno will be out at the end of September this year, okay? So the longer that you are staking Juno between now and September, the more you're going to have. After that, it'll drop down to 20% the following year. So 40% of what's remaining, and then 20% below that. Yeah,
the APR is dropping, right?
So the APR would drop.
Right.
So see the 40% inflation.
Yeah.
So essentially, that's how much is being added right now over the course of a year. So essentially, that's annualized.
Right.
And that will drop from 40 to 20. And at the end of this year, so it launched October 1st. So at the end of September next year, literally half of all Juno that will be in circulation will be out by the end of September next year. And then there'll be 11 more years for the remaining half to come out.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Bullish.
So it's like I'll ride this the whole time because essentially it's going to deflate for forever after this first year, and it's just gonna be amazing, assuming that we don't have like legitimately like Bitcoin hacked or something. You know?
And I mean, to be honest, if everything nuked and Juno went back down to like $10, I would probably just buy more and then start staking that. And it's like,
absolutely,
if Bitcoin consolidates between 20 and 30 or 30 and 40K for a while and everything looks like crap, I will just be patiently loading up on bags that I think will perform really well when there is a next big cycle up. And then then you just, those are the kind of plays you can make a stupid amount of money on.
Well, and they had an announcement today, and I to be 100% honest with you, I haven't even read all of it because I was out getting a test. But it came out not that long ago where they announced that RAW is going to be like the interchain trading currency for like their multi-chain swapping ability. So like they're adding new things to the system. There's Neta, there's Raw, you have an NFT marketplace coming. Like, there's a ton of reasons to be bullish on Juno.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Someone said, "Cause your thoughts on Butterfly." So this has been a hot topic as of late. Someone wrote an article about Butterfly. There's been a lot of FUD going around just about these rebase coins in general. And I'm a little confused by it because people are like, oh, it's just a Ponzi. And it's like, well, yes, it is. Like, I don't know when...
But that's not new, right?
Right. I don't know why that's such big news now that these rebase tokens are Ponzis. So, like, I'm not shocked that people are starting to say it's a Ponzi, but I am surprised that people didn't realize that earlier.
Right.
When things came out, like, a lot of people were reacting to it pretty heavily, and I sold a bit of my Butterfly and put it into Wonderful Memories, which is WMEMO, which is actually something Jared told me about, and it bounced back pretty nicely so far. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these rebase tokens or whatever are 100% Ponzi's. You can't really beat around the bush. That's just, it is what it is. And they're going to be very volatile. If you get in them early enough, you can make a lot of money. If you are the last person to buy, you're probably going to lose some money. But I feel like that's a pretty... Like, I feel like people kind of know that by now.
I agree. I agree. So for just to talk about Memo.
Yeah.
So Wonderful Memories it's MEMO, but then Wrapped Memo is what we're looking at here. And that essentially is the container that staked time goes into. So like if you stake time, you get Memo, right? And so there were some huge capitulations yesterday, and that's when I was like, yo, you should buy this. This is a plus EV play because it's sold below like the net asset value before NAV or below NAV, and net asset value at the time was like 57K on Memo, and I got down to like 40,000. Okay, net asset value being 57K means that for all the Memo out there, if you add that together and divide it by essentially what the total treasury amount is, it's $1 billion. And so they have $1 billion treasury, and it was below the NAV, which means they can use the treasury to essentially correct the price. Does that make sense? And so it was the easiest buy on earth to do that and collect that move. And not only did it go back from 40 to 57, it's moved all the way to 67. And then today they announced Wonderland, Abracadabra, whatever, that all inflation is done. So Time had like the same Ponzi BS where it was like 75 million % APY. Well, they cut all that off. So now all the amount of Memo, all the amount of time that is out there is out there. There's no further inflation that's going to happen. So you went from having something that was crazy, inflating like nothing you'd ever seen, and now it's a stable supply, which is quite a big change. and they'll use Memo. It's essentially like $1 billion hedge fund now, and it's like owning a share of Berkshire Hathaway is what you own by owning Memo. That's how I would equate it. So it's a big deal. So what you're essentially betting on is Danny and Andre to be able to use that $1 billion and make more money for others.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they still have rebases, but they got rid of Mint. So I guess it's not. It's still so sure, Buddha, but comparatively, it's like nothing, right?
A lot less inflationary.
It's nothing. It's nothing. It's like
yeah. So after all that butterfly drama, and after Memo dropped below basically what the backed value of the treasury was,
got it.
I was like, I'm gonna swap some butterfly into that because I feel more confident in Memo recovering more quickly just because of that net asset value that Jared was mentioning. So
yep.
But yeah, that butterfly has been going through the ringer. A couple other people, or I can't remember who asked it first, but said like, up until what price would you be interested in buying Juno? And I'm not really sure if it's also not a bad freaking. Is there a better place to chart this? Because this retest,
yeah, no, it's brutal. I mean, on Osmosis or whatever, info.osmosis.zone, but it's still kind of. You can't draw.
I don't know, just this general region right here. It just retested perfectly.
Yep.
Nice reaction. I mean, you guys kind of get what I'm talking about. Basically, yeah. It was trying to break through this 16, 17 range for super long. 1 attempt, 2 attempt, 3 attempt. Finally broke it. Quick retest here. Rounded retest. And honestly, that it just looks solid to me.
Yep.
But yeah, as far as Juno targets or where we think it could be at from a market cap perspective, or what's your take on that? Right now we're sitting just within the top 150 at, this is a more accurate number, 678 million market cap.
I mean, it's so unbelievably undervalued that I can't even say what I think it should be, because people will be like, if it doesn't work out later on, people will be like, remember that fucking crackpot said $1,000 Juno? And then I'll just be that guy.
I don't think top 50 is insane though.
It's not
a top 50 coin, and that puts you at 3.5 billion market cap. So a 5x from here. So that puts Juno at
exactly
85.
Yep.
So I would say buying from here, buying maybe in the 20s, but then after that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, okay, if you buy at 30 and it goes to 90, it's still a 3x. But if you have the opportunity right now to load up in the teens,
oh, for sure.
At myself personally, it would be hard for me to be yeah, I'm gonna buy a bunch more at 40, because it's I've known about this the whole time. So I'm just trying to position myself really well right now, so that through staking and then a possible 5x, I make a crazy amount of money.
I mean, it could be a 7. If you were listening to me, and I know that you did but didn't, if you were listening to me
a month earlier,
yeah, when it was $7, $8, people that put in, it can be a 7-figure trade for people that put in not a lot of money,
a 50k, 100k,
right, yeah. And which is nuts. So yeah, the fully diluted, I don't know what the fully diluted value cap is. I think it's a couple billion, but that's such a meme. It's such bullshit.
Yeah, fully diluted doesn't really help us.
Yeah, does it even say on there? I don't even see it.
No.
It might say there.
Yeah, it says 3.2.
Yeah, 3.2 billion fully diluted. But like I said, even if you were to take this to the end of the year right now, and the full, let's say we fast forward to September right now, and half supply is out, then you're still at 1.7 billion.
Yep, I'm getting a phone call, so if you just want to keep whatever you want to talk
about. So yeah, I would say that Juno has a ton of legs higher, but there's so many catalysts for people that are. Well, this has now become the Kyle's Juno stream. The things that are going to happen on Cosmos in the near future, like layer 0 onboarding and being the transfer layer of IBC and new chains adding IBC. And if Juno sets up the ability to have cross-chain smart contracts every time a new that a new chain is onboarded, if Juno onboards them into their cross-chain system, it's going to be a big deal, right? Yeah, so DJ says layer 0 can send this thing to 500 if it works well. No doubt about it, man. Like not even a question in my mind that would happen. So somebody asked, where would you get a Juno Atom chart? That's a good question. It's pretty hard to do. I think that's what Kaz is doing. He might be on the phone.
Well, I was trying to. I'm back now, but it was the vet.
How is my man Zeus doing?
Zeus he's hanging in there. He's had a cone on for like 3 weeks though, so because he got neutered last week, and he had like some growth on his leg that they had to cut out. So he's going through it, but soon he will be fully healthy and happy. But they said he's ready, so I mean, we can stream for another 15 or so, but then I gotta go pick up the kid.
No, that's perfect.
You staking Juno or farming it on Osmo? We are staking it.
Yeah, staking. I don't want to be deluded because I think that Juno is going to outperform almost everything on Cosmos. Now there will be little shots here and there of things that are going to outperform. However, I think long term Juno outperforms. So I don't want to be in a situation where I'm LPing and because Juno's outperforming, I'm getting less of it, which is what would happen, right? Like pretty straightforward stuff. So I don't want to do that. I'm more interested in staking. It gets you eligible for more other stake drops. What wallet we use? It's Kepler, KEPLR.app.
Yeah, this doesn't really help me too much. Anyway, I mean, basically this 16 to 17 level was resistance, and now we're retesting it. But
that's right.
What was I going to say about Juno? Oh yeah, so market cap right now 675 mil. When I actually sent Jared a screenshot. I was like, bro, look at this. This is when you hopped on my stream that first time and we talked about Juno, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, $13, and it was 490 mil market cap.
Yep.
But let's say top 50, which we still kind of think is relatively conservative, but we don't want to go too insane or get anyone too excited. That would put Juno at around $85.
Yep.
And if that takes 6 months or whatever, and you're staking it the whole time, like not only did you 5x your USD value, but you probably got, I don't know, 60-70% more like Juno tokens themselves.
Yep.
So let's say you had 1,000 Juno at 1761. So you put in 17K, but then you get up to 1,600 Juno over those 6 months, and Juno goes to $85. That's like almost a 10x.
Yep.
So a lot of upside, and yeah, I mean, if it takes longer and you keep staking, you're compounding everything because you're staking with more, and so your daily rewards are more, and it's like the people who are in earlier on this and who are committed to staking it and compounding their value, if it plays out, you'll make a lot of money.
Real quick,
yeah.
Somebody asked, is it better to swap on Osmo or is it better to swap on Juno Swap? And it depends what you're doing. If you're trading with size, it's probably better to swap on Juno Swap. And the reason why I say that is if you ever look on Osmo, if you are not trading an Osmo pair, you only pay for the fee of whatever it is you're trading against. But like I swapped some Osmo for Juno, or no, some UST for Juno not that long ago, and it was 0.5% fee for that swap because it was 0.2 on one side and 0.3 on the other for a total of 0.5%. If you were to do that natively on Juno Swap, you would avoid half that fee. So it would only be 0.2%. You're like, all right, 0.2 versus 0.5%. Does that really matter? I don't know, man. Like, I would rather not pay it if I didn't have to. So that's my little bit of alpha. Use Juno Swap when you can.
Yes, good stuff. Did you see Atlas Dex launch today?
No, I saw your tweet about it, but I was out and about.
It's because okay, so you remember I was on the phone with you yesterday,
Yeah.
talking about some swap stuff, and one of the things we were talking about different swaps, but the day before I was like, Coinbase, if I want to take money out, you have to send USDC ERC20 to Coinbase, and I had all this USDC on Solana. And had to I converted it into Ethereum, bridged it to my MetaMask, Uniswapped it over to USDC, and then sent it to Coinbase. And it was just super annoying. But they basically launched their swap today, and I was like playing around with it. And now in one like swap or one transfer transaction, whatever you want to call it, you can basically swap it across those two chains. So
Nice.
I think it might still be like the beta version or something like that, but
That's legit.
yeah, more things like that are just going to make all this cross chain stuff a lot more like reasonable to use.
We're all. I mean, look, I think the narrative, quite honestly, is. By the way, Recproof is here, and he brought us people.
Dude, no wonder a bunch of people started. Recproof always pops in when I'm like 10 minutes left before I have to leave. I got to go get Zeus, Recproof.
Yeah, dude.
You my guy though. I appreciate the shout out. I'm trying to think of what we were talking about throughout the stream that we could fill some people in on quickly. Some alpha.
So Recproof was there when I shielded Juno the first time.
Yes, he was. And I wonder if
did he buy some? Yeah. I want to know.
If you're here from the Recproof raid, and you were also here on a previous Recproof raid, we were shilling Juno at $13. Mr. Power of 3 is here, and now it's at 17. So I don't know if any of the current raiders remember that, but I think Recproof and I share some similar views on the market right now.
Nice.
And Jared, I think we're kind of all in the same boat. Recproof.
Yep.
We're going to 46K before the lows are taken, correct? If he's still here. He probably just drops people in here and dips.
Nice way to ride out.
I'm just kidding. I think he's still here.
You know,
a lot of time, bro, he always got food in my mouth. You can still type. A lot of people, like, I think Recproof has plugged the stream when you and I have been streaming together like 2 or 3 times, and then everyone's like, oh, is this Recproof like with you on stream? Like everyone thinks it's him because he just shilled it. But yeah, Recproof, you really do need to hop on the stream with me sometime. Everyone wants to watch you chart some coins.
Same. Count me in that group.
I know a bunch of people have been bugging him about it a little bit, but Jared, what do you think were some of the main points that if you're joining late would still be important to hear?
You know, I think the most important thing is that there could not have been a worse open on the QQQ, so essentially on the NASDAQ open, NQ, whatever.
Equities,
could not have been worse.
Whatever, yeah.
Yep, yeah, NASDAQ is technology, it's high beta tech, right? And they're mostly correlated with crypto. So it literally opened brutally bad, and it sold down the entire day. And the NASDAQ was down 2.5%, which is a huge down day. And crypto did fine. That is, I think, the thing that makes you go, wait a minute.
Yeah, we definitely are showing a bit of strength here. And other times, we were talking about this at the beginning, but other times that we've seen equities with this kind of a little sell-off, it usually has crypto down like 6, 7, 8, 9% across the board.
Yeah, it's a wipeout day.
Yeah,
like so it's straight up.
That's why this really is remarkable. That I mean, Bitcoin's currently working on a green daily candle when equities took a major hit.
I don't know if you tuned into my last stream. I don't even know what it was. It's like last Friday, maybe. But I laid out a case for how Bitcoin moves while the market takes a shit. And it had to do with inflation and people's awareness of Bitcoin as a store of value, as a commodity. Because when you have this level of inflation, really we're in stagflation, right? The economy is contracting, inflation is going up. It's called stagflation. It always precedes a recession. That's what's happening right now, okay? So, but usually when that happens, when there's stagflation or essentially economic contraction and inflation up, people move to commodities. Bitcoin is essentially a commodity. It's a, they call it digital gold. Unfortunately, that's how it's been for a while, how like the general public views it. Now we're over here slinging shitcoins and trying new DeFi protocols and NFTs and all that kind of stuff. However, there's a case to be made that people might move their money to Bitcoin instead of fiat because they're going to get inflated to death. And like, that's a bid in Bitcoin we haven't seen since the last time we had this, which, oh, by the way, the last time we had this level of inflation where it was creeping up, it was 2016, 2017, the last time Bitcoin had a rip. So there is a case to be made where we actually decouple from risk on high beta technology and move closer towards, like a commodity-based pump. And by the way, pull up. Oh, I'm gonna send you this chart. You got to pull it up, and then I know you got to.
That would be when we know like we've made it with this whole crypto thing. Like,
correct.
If there's crazy inflation, all markets are nuking, and crypto is holding up because people are like, oh, this is our inflation hedge, which is like part of what the argument is, but it's never actually been like used it hasn't worked as that yet.
That's right. And I just sent you this. I've sent it to you before. This is a live chart. That's the gold monthly chart, ladies and gentlemen. That's the gold monthly chart.
Does this mean
monthly?
I need to mute Peter Schiff soon?
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to mute Peter Schiff soon because this is gonna absolutely moon. And if it moons, does Bitcoin go with it? I think, yeah. Dude, this is a fucking 11-year cup with handle. It's an 11-year cup with handle.
That's crazy.
If that breaks out, is it a valid cup with handle? I mean, yes and no. I wish it was lower. That'd be more accurate if essentially it was a lower handle than higher. But it's pretty damn close. There's no one that would look at that and say it's not a cup with handle. It just could look cleaner,
and
right?
Regardless, people could call it like a bear flag or whatever else like you want to call it. But yeah, I mean.
So if it breaks out to the high side, what's going to happen to Bitcoin? And that's the question. Like, we don't know. Right. We think it's going to go up, but I mean, I think it's going to go up.
Dude, all crypto people, ourselves included, will be unbearable if all markets across the world are nuking, crypto's going crazy, houses are getting super cheap. All the guys on crypto Twitter right now would just be like cashing out, buying these mansions for cheaper when no one else can afford them because equities are dying. Like, it would just be the most insane thing ever. So as somebody just said, has gold and BTC simultaneously pumped before? If you looked at 2016 into 2017, rip and then fall off, Bitcoin was doing the same thing at the bottom of this cup. So that 2016 to 2017 area, that's when Bitcoin was doing that. So like it was a minor move, and there's been a bunch of other things that have happened between now and then. But again, I'm not like YOLOing all in on gold or Bitcoin because of this. I'm just saying that we're such a narrative driven like market, right? That's what crypto is. This is a pretty good fucking narrative. It's a pretty good narrative. Wait, so just so I get this straight, you're not all in gold?
I'm not all in gold. That is correct. Yep.
Yeah, we need to start buying some grills or something. Get some gold teeth. Get some extra gold bars. Yeah, Peter Schiff. If Bitcoin dumps while gold pumps, I'm staying off Twitter. Peter Schiff would be unbearable. That'd be funny though. But yeah, pretty pleased with how Juno's holding up. market looks decent. Finally catching a little bit. Like, this is the best candle we've seen in a while after bleeding down here for like 3 days. So we'll see whether or not it is sustainable. But as of right now, like, if I had to summarize my view on the market in one sentence, I think we hit 46K before we take out 39.6.
I think you're right. I mean, look, my daily reversal's still in. It has been stopped out. So until we hit 39.7, I still think the bottom's in.
Yeah.
But
up before more down, hopefully. And hopefully this SR level here doesn't, like, we could do something like this, but eventually I'd like to see us, like, actually reclaim that 42.5-ish section. So sorry I didn't have more for you guys that joined in the last like 10 minutes or so, but I do need to go pick up my dog from the vet, so I need to go do that. But appreciate you all. Oh yeah, I'm gonna drop a Discord link. Jared, when's your next stream?
I mean,
Whenever you want.
Yeah, I'm not super fancy like you. I just kind of stream.
Stream whenever. All right, there's an invite link to the Discord. Shout out to JM plus EV on Twitter once again. I'll link that one more time. And shout out to Bybit, sponsors of the stream. Hashtag free the geckos. We're still working. All right, appreciate you all. Thanks for being awesome viewers and hanging out with us and interacting in the chat. And I will be live again on Thursday, and hopefully Bitcoin will be at like 44K at that point. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.